real quick. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry for I don't know why it was doing that. That's the first time it's ever did that. Thank you guys for your patience. Technical difficulties, but you know how we rock Raw Truth Media. My brother, you had a fantastic season. You had 12 touchdowns, which led to SWAC. You had 540 yards, and you only played a few games. Now, first, I wanted to ask you, what made you choose Jackson State in being one of the few to uh, be a part of change? Because we talk about other players, but you did it when it wasn't popular.
Um, I would say Dion definitely played a big part. He definitely helped me understand, all the possibilities and the opportunity I had here at Jackson State. I think Coach Prime also helped me realize, the type of the type of path I could, create for other young players, and the type of spotlight that I could put on HBCUs as a whole. Um,
Right.
so just being able to do that is everything.
It is. It
And
is. And I don't want to put this pressure on you, my brother, but I know Jared Rice had a record. It was almost 2,000 receiving yards in one season. He had a career almost 5,000 receiving yards. Uh, do you think that's a doable goal for you, my brother? I think it is. I think you're very talented and you are a smart player. You think that's possible for you in the future?
um, I definitely think it's possible, especially if definitely I get a couple more balls thrown my way, of course. But as a whole, most definitely, I think anything is possible. You put your mind to it. So just gonna work so I could, be at that level one day for sure.
Exactly. Um, Playing for Coach Prime, what does it mean to play for a coach who understands you, understands your culture, understand how you are as a true sport athlete?
Ah, man, it just makes my day a whole lot easier. Dealing with and being coached by a coach who's been a two sport athlete at some of the highest levels of two professional sports. um, Speaks for itself. He knows the type of time management it takes to be able to, handle two sports. He knows the commitment that it takes to be able to play two sports, and him, keeping me on the straight and narrow through it all definitely um, plays in my favor in a big way.
Exactly. This past season, it had a lot of good, and then it ended with a loss to South Carolina State. Um, what are some things as a team that you guys can improve on, and what is your belief in this team next season, how they'll do?
Oh man, well, I think we're going to go exactly as far as we did last year, except for I think we're going to put the icing on the cake. To be honest with you.
Right.
But one thing I feel like we all know we could improve on is just being poised and execution. There's a lot of times last year that we didn't finish plays, a whole lot of times last year where we missed a lot of assignments. So just being a little bit more locked in as a whole, I think we could do. I think that was our first time around. A lot of people got to see, as far as how good we truly could be if we were just locked in. A couple more plays because that's all the game come down to. In the very end, sometimes it's a couple plays. So just being more poised in the off season this year is definitely going to be one of our main goals.
We got some Florida boys on the chat, man. He's Phil Ross says 601 Jacktown. We got Florida boy Doja Venel. Hey, I don't know what they put in the water in Florida, but the athletes that come out of that state are phenomenal. Um, why? Like, how does the Florida athlete? How do they succeed? What's the reason for them to succeed in the way they do?
Hmm. If anything, it might just be a mindset. Um,
Mm,
the power of the mind is crazy. Manifestation is crazy. So um, I don't know. really can't say too much. But it's just different when you're from Florida. Summer's all the way around, all year round. It's always hot, always outside. Kids always up to something. So probably just
Right.
kids being so active at such a young age. If I had to take a
Spot
guess.
on. Man, there's a lot of talent out there. Um, Now, I think, and I've said this before, you're the best two-sport athlete in college because there's not too many two-sport athletes. If you think about it, you're playing basketball, you're a star there, you're a star in football. Um, what's it like to play for a university that it's accepting of you playing two sports and not trying to negate you to choose one sport like the other FBS and PWI schools?
Man, that's part of the biggest reason I came here, man. So Jackson State's definitely gonna get all of me. Jackson State has been nothing but a blessing to me, man. Nothing but love as far as from administration, fans, students, coaching. It's just where you want to be at around this time.
Exactly. We got someone in the comment section. Phil Ross says, ask him what he thinks about Wayne Brent. That's my high school coach. You know about Wayne Brent?
Yeah, Wayne Brent's my head basketball coach here at Jackson State. Um, I think he does a phenomenal job in putting trust in you know just giving a lot of trust to young players. I feel like for the start of this season already he's giving me a lot of trust as far as shots he's letting me be able to take, even though I've gotten off to a slow shooting start as far as the basketball court. So just knowing that you have a coach that believes in you, that's definitely a big thing, because a lot of times you can go to a school where a coach after a couple games might not believe in you if you're not doing so well. So just definitely kudos and praise Coach Brent.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Brent. And what people don't realize, you still got your football legs. Once you get your basketball legs under you, man, you see those dunks now, it's going to be normal. It's going to be just the
Yeah,
beginning, man.
I definitely got a couple more dunks I want to show some folks, but nah, I'm really more interested in winning the games right now, man. I'm trying to string together some games so we could lock in, this tournament for us, and so we can go out and win a SWAC championship in basketball as well.
I like that. That's that winning mentality, man. Because what people fail to realize, if everybody is a collective of winning, all your goals will be accomplished. I truly believe that. And what is your long-term goals?
Ah, man, um, I don't know. Some of my long term goals is definitely to be able to play at some of the highest levels and in one of the sports that I currently play, if not both. But I don't know. I kind of want to branch off and be able to do a lot of things, though. I'm really open minded as far as ways of making money and ways of making income. So really don't like to limit myself in that manner. But yeah, definitely continue playing sports and continue networking through it all, because that's definitely what has been able to propel me to do it this far.
Exactly. Like they say, your college choices are not only a 4-year decision, it's a 40-year decision. And you definitely have the right mindset to be successful, not only in sports, but in life. In society, uh, the dominant society that is likes to pigeonhole our brothers and sisters and only think that athletics is all we're good for, but we're much more. We're bright, and we have the courage and the strength to accomplish anything we put our mind to. And that's a great message you have, young brother. This is why I believe not only in you on the court and on the field, but off of it. What is something that you would tell someone who is younger, like if they need advice to be successful as an athlete and away from the field and court as well?
I tell all youngsters to get discouraged, taking journey. feel like you only took a loss and a lesson you never learned, learning
Mm-hmm.
from it. So just learning as you go, so you can always just start to make the best decisions out of things, man. So you can get all of what you deserve. It's probably one of the biggest things.
Absolutely. Um, I have three more questions. Another one. How's your family? How's your family has supported every decision you've done and really uh, helped you, shaped you into the man you are today? Hmm. Malachi, are you still there? I read his comments. D.I. Love says, "You're a very talented young man. We appreciate you becoming a part of our family." Jacktown says, "When Malachi
You
apologized
kind
to me after."
of breaking up.
Yeah, I'm clear on my end. Can you hear me? D. Hurler says, "How important is it being disciplined in your journey?" Uh, GS with the questions already, saying, "What does?" Let's see. And Malachi's back. Welcome back, my brother. I was asking you how much your family has shaped you into the man you are today. Can you hear me, Malachi?
Oh man, family's everything. Family is everything to me for sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hey, Malachi, how's your connection? Is it having a full bar?
I can hear you a little.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking your family dynamic, how it shaped you to being the man you are today, um, not only as an athlete, but as a person as well. Hmm. How about this, Malachi? Let me see. This can help out. Yeah. How about I give you a number to call in? And I'll give this to you. Let's see. Let me send this to you. And thank you, everyone, for your patience. Connection. All right. Can you hear me, Malachi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. And thank
Can
you,
you hear me?
everybody, for. Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you talk about your how your family shaped you into being the man you are today?
man. I can do nothing but thank my family, for keeping me out of trouble. Keep my head on straight. I can't hear you if you're speaking.
Yeah. Let's see. How about this? Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna do it off my phone. StreamYard app. So I'm gonna join in on my phone, and this should be good. This has been a great interview so far. Just been technical difficulties, but that's okay. All right, this should help. So I'm gonna join in on phone, and that should help. All right, Malachi, is this better? Is this better? Peace to you, hoop jargon. Hello. Hey, Malachi. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with his connection, but he was dropping some gems, man. He's a good kid, has a bright future. Um, I truly feel that he has the talent and the skill to break a lot of records. And this is what it's all about, showcasing young talent and telling them you don't have to go to a PWI. You don't have um, to go to Alabama or any other school. You can just go to uh, hey, that's what it is, man. I was like, what the heck? Jacktown says it's them 4.5G Jacktown towers. I figured because I got some strong Wi-Fi where I'm at. Yeah, I love Jackson, but yeah, I'm gonna have Wideman call in. I'm gonna have him do that. Let me get that number. Uh, that'd be much easier. And thank you all for your patience, man. Just some technical difficulties on my Wi-Fi is good. I'm just gonna text this number. And we'll have it all set in Gucci. All right. Let me set this up real quick. All right. Jacktown, you know what I'm talking about, man. This is the Jackson, the Jackson. I love the city of Jackson. Y'all know what it is, man. All right, make sure I got this set. I almost got it set up, man. You guys are the most patient people around, man. I tell you. He said, Jacktown said it might be 3G. It's something. It's something. Waiting on him to call. Aaron Wilson says, tell Coach Prime to upgrade them boys' Wi-Fi. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It was a great interview too until that Wi-Fi was cutting off, man. Y'all hear the gems he was speaking. But also, Malachi has to go to shooting round, and it wasn't supposed to be a long interview anyway. But I wanted to get to the great parts. I wanted to talk about how his family was able to shape him into the man he is today, and I think that's important. Like we live in a society where we telling these kids that it's not about family and it's not you can do it alone. No, no, no. It takes a village. It takes a village to create great things. Uh, shout out to Jacktown, man. Jacktown funny, man. We won't make light of it. He said it's upgraded, but he can't build a tower, man. So I want to know your opinion so far, what you heard, not when the Wi-Fi was cutting up on that end, but what you heard in the interview. I want to know your opinions. I truly believe that Malachi, no matter who they're bringing in, that he's going to continue to break records, that he's going to continue to be dominant. Now, next season, we know that other opposing teams are going to do drop eight coverage, that they're going to um, game plan for him. They're going to double team him. But when you have someone that tall, that big, that fast, that intelligent as a route runner, what you have to do, especially what Shador has to do as a quarterback, is to trust him still. And sometimes you just got to lob it up. I remember Troy Aikman was talking about Dallas losing to San Francisco. And all he pretty much pointed out that, hey, if someone is leaving some space underneath the route, just lob it up. That's all you have to do. But I believe Jackson State is going to be much improved on offense, man. The offensive line is just going to be revamped. This new offensive coordinator, he's sitting on weapons. There's no way he can fail. And I'm going to be honest, they're going to give him a lot of credit when everything was going good. But I want to say shout out to T.C. Taylor for handling his business and turning around the offense in somewhat for what he had. He didn't really have an offensive line. And when you don't have an offensive line, you can't really make any significant plays. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you got Randy Moss. if you don't have protection in the interior, especially your left tackles or your tackles, right tackle and left tackle, it's a no-go. You're just a sitting duck out there. Also, subscribe to Hoop Jargon, man. Hoop Jargon played at Prairie View A&M. Oh, I also got my Jackson State gear on, man. I got a rep, man. Oh, also to my FAMU fans, let me show you this. I'm going to show you this right now. I've been wanting to show y'all this. I didn't leave out FAMU. I got it too. So don't say I don't support all HBCUs. Don't say it. And I'm going to get Mississippi Valley. I'm going to get some Bethune-Cookman gear. I'm going to get some Southern gear, Prairie View A&M. My father's alma mater, definitely got to get that. But don't say I don't support all HBCUs. Because, hey, man, I think this gear is fly, man. And shout out to Anthony Lawrence collection. If you want to get HBCU gear, go to Anthony Lawrence collection. They'll get you right. And if you like polos like I do, you get this. But yeah, man. Shoot. I'm living in Washington State right now, man. Everybody asks me, what's that? Because it's the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, so they don't really know too much about HBCUs. Matter of fact, there's not even an HBCU out here. I had to let them know that hey, man, it's something down south. You don't know it till you go down south. Real Talk says, any updates? You mean channel updates or just anything about Jackson State? Now, I've been hearing a lot of rumors about Jackson State and recruiting, man. I'm hearing something that Jackson State could get a 4-star and a 5-star prospect. Allegedly. I'm hearing that they're getting a 4-star and a 5-star prospect, possibly. I give it around 70% chance. They're going to get one of them for sure. That's going to happen. But Jackson State is going to get Real Talk says Wideman interview. So we did the Wideman interview, but the connection out there was having him cut off, so it kind of wasted time. He has to go to basketball practice, and but what he said so far was so key, and so important. It was something that we all need to hear. He talked about the importance of playing for a coach and Coach Prime who understands him, understands how he is as a black man living in America, not giving everything that other folks of other tribes get. And that was powerful to listen to. These young brothers and sisters coming up. I know they talk about millennials, generation this and that, but they are so bright, and they're going to be our future leaders in society, and that's the reality. Jacktown says, "I'll officially wet my pants if that happens." Hey, man, when I don't do if anymore. Jackson State's been doing so well in recruiting. I don't even say when. I don't say when at all. Antoine Walden says, "Bro, I live in Kent, Washington. DJ, I had no idea you lived here, bro." Hey, man, for sure, man. Shout out to Kent, Washington. I've been out there before. But yeah, Washington State. I moved here about 3 years ago from Houston, so it's different out here, man. People out here obsessed with salmon and and other stuff, man. It's different. Azan Jet says, "Peace and love, my brother and sisters. We here for the culture." That's what's all about, the culture, man. The HBCU movement is so powerful right now. So powerful. And it's not going anywhere at all. Antoine says, "Facts. They love that salmon here. Oh man, they are in love with salmon. They, I mean, they can't live without salmon, man. They got salmon everything. Salmon salad, salmon barbecue. I never heard of a salmon barbecue before until I got out here. Oh, also, to let y'all all know, Jackson State, established in 1877. It's been around for years, man. This university has so much history, brother and sisters. So much history. Real Talk says, "Any guesses what generation the parents of these HBCU recruits were in?" You mean like age group when they were, Real Talk says, "I remember when I attended HBCU, it was difficult to get talented kids to attend HBCUs. Back then, I'm not saying all the way back then, but late 90s and 2000s, there were a lot of coaches who didn't even give offers to recruits. They're like, oh, they're not going to take us seriously. They're just going to go and visit us for free and we got to pay for it. They was thinking about that. But Coach Prime changed the whole mindset, showing you that, hey, you got to take a chance to get good talent. Don't worry about if the player just wants to go and visit and don't want to commit. Hello? Hello, Malachi? Wait, hold on real quick. I think he called in. Tell me if you hear me now.
I can hear you, DJ.
Okay, man. You was cooking on that interview, my brother, man. Hey, man.
Okay, no problem, man. This ain't Mal. This is his much shorter uncle, man.
Oh, okay, uncle.
Calling it.
What's good, my brother?
Yeah. I was just calling in, man. Just wanted to say I know Mal had to pop off. He was having technical difficulties, and then Coach Wayne told me he had to get over to the shoot around, man. So,
absolutely.
But he definitely wanted folks to know that he appreciates all the love that the JSU family has really showered upon him ever since he got there, man. It must be a Southern hospitality thing. We're from Florida, from Sarasota County down here, and Mississippi Jackson ain't been nothing but love, man. And he wanted me to share with you, DJ, that he's going to try to kind of atone for the technical difficulties this morning and try to set up, some time going forward just to kind of do a part 2 or a revamped version, man. Gotta maybe hit up some donors, man, for Jackson State, man. Those alums out there, man. Let's get us some better Wi-Fi in these dorms.
Man, exactly, brother. I'm gonna keep it real with you because you know how conversations we had. I looked at my Wi-Fi bar. My bar was all the way up. I said, I know it ain't coming on my end, man. You see my streams, my brother. I know it wasn't coming on my end. And the family was telling me that's the Jackson State Wi-Fi. They said, bro, the Jackson State Wi-Fi is poor. And they love Jackson State.
Yeah.
They got to upgrade that, my brother.
So, absolutely, man. We miss out sometimes on these golden opportunities, but, one of the things that Mal, and he's so humble, like I shared with you, man. I love my nephew, a great kid, but also beyond that, man, doesn't read his own press, doesn't watch his own highlights, and I think that's just a testament of the type of young man that he is. That he never is as good as they say he is, and if he has a bad day, he's never as bad as they say he is. He's always somewhere in the middle trying to get better.
Exactly. Very humble young man, and through all the technical difficulties and everything, his professionalism, his maturity, just respect, it goes a long way. That type of mindset creates great things in people. And he has great people in his corner, just like for the deals and stuff, booked in busy talent in Florida. They do a great job with him, man. They do a great job. And it's kudos to you. It's good to have strong male role models in these young brothers' lives. They need it.
Man, well, I can honestly say it's nothing but a blessing, and it's a lot easy. Working with Mal, is easy, man. It's always been a yes sir, no sir type of kid, man. One thing I've ever had trouble with him is, when he's staying at my house, man, putting NBA 2K down. That's about it. Other than that, man, is a great kid and is a real student of the game. One of the things that I've noticed, especially with these young men and young women recently, is like, when I was growing up, right? If you had a highlight tape, that meant you were good. Like, you were great. Everybody didn't have highlight tapes, right? We weren't in the age of huddle and all these other things. Like, the people who had highlight tapes were the dogs. Now, you have a lot of kids who are just like looking at highlight tapes, or they want to get their highlight tape made, but they're not actually studying and doing the analysis and the thorough analytical development that is required mentally to become a top-notch athlete, right? You have to be a real student of the game. And I can tell you, man, Mr. Wideman gets to it, man. He gets in the books, man. One thing that a lot of people don't even know is that his senior year of high school down in Venice, Florida, there was a coaching situation, and Mal pretty much ended up being the player and a coach. Was really coaching and calling the plays, and running the practices for his team for that second half of the season, man. So you're talking about a kid who understands the game very well.
Exactly. It's intelligent, man. I could tell how he runs his routes, man. He knows where to go. He just knows where to go. The last question I asked Malachi was, like the role his family has done for his life and making him the man he is today. And then the Wi-Fi kind of just cut off. But
Yeah.
Can you talk about like the family support system? Because I just I love it so much what you guys got going on.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. You know, it all starts with Granny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Patricia Wideman, down in Sarasota. Hopefully she's listening. Granny is the glue of the family, and holds everything together, like so many Black families, you know, across this country. And you know, Mal has four amazing siblings. Kiana is his oldest sister. Then there's Malachi. Then there is Nia, who is his 6'2", 16-year-old sister. FYI. 6'2", 16-year-old sister. Then he's got his brother Malik, who's 6'1", 13-year-old brother. And then he's got his 5-year-old sister, Antoniana, better known affectionately, we call her Muji. That's what makes Mal go so hard, man. Mal goes so hard for his brothers and his sisters, and of course his mom, Angela, who affectionately we call her 6'9". Angela is 6'3.5". That's my sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, great family, man. Mal came down here for Thanksgiving and literally came straight to his granny's house, man, and made about 10 sweet potato pies, man. Didn't leave the house, sat there the whole time, and, you know, didn't leave till it was time to hop back on the plane to go to Jackson State, man. That's the type of kid he is, man. Family is everything, man.
That's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. Hey, man,
Yeah,
I'm looking.
absolutely.
I watched the highlights of Malachi on not only on field but on the basketball court, and I was thinking, I said, with that type of athleticism, man, would it be far fetched if you get drafted both?
Not at all, man. Not at all. Mal is, you know, that's why I think the marriage between he and Coach Prime is so perfect, because, you know, you go back and you look at a 21, 22-year-old Deion Sanders, man. He was telling them, man, y'all can't tell me what I'm supposed to do, man.
Right.
Y'all tell me I got to pick a sport. I don't have to do anything but say black and die, right? And Malachi is the same way. I don't have to do anything but continue to perform at a high level. And just because the lane ain't there, I'm going to make my own lane. Mal is going to be the first player in modern history in a very long time that will be drafted in the NBA and the NFL and could potentially go first round in both. Now, I know that there's a lot of moving parts. I know there's a lot of factors at play. So some may say that is a hyperbolic statement, but I'm going to stand 10 toes on that, man, that Mal will get drafted, you know, in both basketball and football. And he has the talent, man. Look, you know, I look at Randy Moss because I always said that Mal kind of reminds me of a young Randy Moss. Randy Moss could have probably played basketball in college.
Oh, yeah, he was a truth.
Probably could have. Yeah, Randy Moss was a dog. Randy Moss was a dog. But he did it, man. But, you know, and Mal is carving out a lane. Look, hey, Travis Hunter said the other day he wanted to play ball. You know, I'm not saying that he hadn't thought about that before, but I think Malachi is making certain things possible and creating a mindset and helping people reimagine what is possible in collegiate sports, man. You know, the same way Travis Hunter, Mal, Kevin Coleman, the Shedeur Sanders, the way those cats made it possible for these 4- or 5-star athletes to say, you know what, I'm going to take my talents to HBCU. Now you got cats like Malachi Wideman that are saying, hey, not only can you take your talents to HBCU, but if you're a dog in 2 sports, play those 2 sports, my brother.
Exactly, man. We got too many folks who are trying to, you know, put things in kids' heads and tell them that if you do this way, you can't be successful. We got to get away from. We got to take can't away from the vocabulary and substitute that with can. You can play 2 sports. You can be a valedictorian. You can be a millionaire. You can take your family from the hood into a better place. We need to start doing that. And I'm starting to see that, and I'm going to keep it real, since Jackson State has been changing the game, not only just on sports overall, but off of it, it's like sly hating. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When they lost
Mm-hmm.
to South Carolina State, I've never seen in a while so much vitriol from the same community that we're trying to uplift. And I told people from the day one, I don't care if it's Grambling, Southern, Alcorn, Alabama A&M, whoever has the edge of creating change, I'm supporting. That's the ultimate message.
Absolutely, my brother. You know, look, we gotta take it back, man. We gotta recognize our forefathers in this, man. We gotta recognize the Ed Too Tall Joneses, man, the Henry Lawrences, the Doug Williamses, man. We gotta recognize those cats, the Michael Strahans, man. We gotta give homage and pay homage in the same way that, you know, we were all for, hey, everybody, when Doug Williams went to the Super Bowl, man, I don't care if you went to Grambling or if you went to wherever, man. If you were part of the HBCU community, everybody was standing proud, man, smiling from ear to ear saying, hey, man, Doug Williams, a black quarterback, a young black man from an HBCU is playing in the Super Bowl, starting as a quarterback, and we were proud. We got to have that same kind of pride when JSU is leading on the forefront, man. You know, we got to have that same kind of pride because guess what? When one wins, we all win. When one wins, we all win. And so I can't, man, you hit the nail on the head. And hopefully, man, the same way that these HBCU football programs are getting publicity, I think now it's time for us to start turning our attention to the HBCU basketball programs and baseball programs and volleyball programs and golf and tennis, man, because we got some dogs in every sport, you know, men and women's sports, and they need to get their shine on too.
Man, you are preaching, my brother, man. We got to do a better job in our conversations behind closed doors. I even admitted that I got to do a better job and talk about more sports. You know, I talk about so many things on my channel. You know, I'm not trying to make 4 videos in a day, so I'm trying to balance it out. But we all got to do a better job in highlighting all sports. I want to shout out Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. This is a brother who talks about it all. He talks not only about SWAC, but MEAC, SEAC, FCS, even Division II. And he's been consistent with that. And I'm giving him his flowers because he's been an OG in this game, and many others, man. It's a renaissance going on. Joining an HBCU right now is cool to kids.
Man, you said a mouthful, man. It's a renaissance, man. You might have Shador, might be Langston Hughes. Mal might be James Baldwin. Ooh. Man, it's a renaissance, man. Whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna say this, man, because you know I'm a social studies teacher, man, and I gotta run. I gotta let these kids in my class.
Right.
I'm gonna say this, man. Dude, the world needs to stay tuned because Malachi is about to change the game on a business standpoint, man. The NFTs were just one thing, man. In the next week or so, you're gonna hear about some game-changing NIL deals. Not just from a compensation standpoint, because we know Biggie told us back in '97, more money, more problems. That's not the issue. Jeez. But it's looking at the way that we can expand our portfolios as African Americans and looking at not just becoming brand ambassadors, but equity partners. And I'm going to leave it at that, my brother. DJ, you the man.
Thank you, man. One more thing before you roll, my brother. Just let me know behind, when we text, we could do the next interview. Next time, we're just going to use the phone call method for Malachi.
No doubt.
And one thing, man, what got you drawn to my channel, my brother?
Man, look, I'm not even going to front, man. I was just out there looking, just trying to find the chatter of, what people are saying about my nephew, man, at the beginning of the season. And I want to say, did you drop the video about saying that Malachi is the next best thing or superstar? Or
yeah, I had the whole
early on.
Yeah, I did,
bro. Because I was like, man, love everybody, right? But I love the home team. That's my baby. That's my nephew. So I'm like, yo, is anybody seeing what my boy is doing, man? And then you drop it, and then the next week he does 4 touchdowns, 169 yards, and I'm like, okay, let me subscribe. Because I also saw that, man, you were an analytical thinker too, right? You were saying the things sometimes that were the unpleasant truths, right? Because clearly you want us all to win, but in order for us to be able to win, we have to hold ourselves accountable, and we also have to point out some of the areas that got to be cleaned up. And you weren't afraid to tell him, my brother, and that's what drew me in, man. So, like I said, dude, you're one of the best in the biz. I support you, my young brother. I appreciate you. I respect you, man, and I hope God continues to protect you, man.
You too, man. And Ed, man, like my elders once said, man, we can't win if we don't respect our own skin. So everybody, let's come together. Let's build for one another. Jackson State doing well is great for the whole swag. Don't listen to the naysayers talking about it's only beneficial Jackson State. Look at all the recruits. Look at Grambling. Look at FAMU. They're recruiting at a high level. Look at Pearview A&M and many more.
Oh, yeah, man. And Marquise Bell needs to go at least second round, man. I'm going to say it right now. I don't know what they're doing, what people are thinking, but number 5, Marquise Bell, the safety at FAMU, is a dog. One of the best safeties in the draft, man. Honestly.
All right, man. That's Ed in the building.
Yes, sir.
The uncle of Malachi.
You, man. I got to let these 8th graders in, man.
Hey, man, do your thing, my brother.
All right, thank you.
All right. That was Malachi Wideman's uncle, man. And here at Raw Truth, man, this is so momentous right now, man. I feel so powerful talking amongst our people. I feel so powerful because they thought the dominant society thought this couldn't happen. They thought we couldn't come together and create something great. Now HBCUs are so powerful right now. You got merch selling out from the jumps. This is what it's all about. They will never take this away from us. We can do it. We got to believe. When Coach Prime says believe, he's not saying it just for a slogan to buy gear. He's saying it because he wants all of us to have some faith in ourselves, man. Have you ever been around people who say, man, I don't know. I don't want to be around people that say I don't know. I don't want to be around people that put others down. I don't want to be around people that nitpicks other brothers and sisters for creating change. Because I was never raised around that. We got to love our skin. We got to love being black. Don't listen to these folks telling you that once you go white, it's all right. Everybody getting happy when it's not our own. And it's nothing against white folks. I'm just saying, like, we got to appreciate ourselves more. That's all I'm saying. Being black is beautiful. Being black is powerful. Shout out to all the beautiful, strong sisters who keep their heads up despite ridicule from media and putting down your looks, making fun of your hair. But you wake up every day to provide for your family when you're not supposed to. Let's come together. And I'm going to put the number up for the call-in. The call-in number is 857-799-9625. I want to hear your thoughts. For those who heard the interview with Malachi, it did cut short. Jackson State, we support you, but you got to get some stronger Wi-Fi. But shout out to the homie Trent. Shout out to Dayan Owens. Oh, my God. Hey, we got Hoop Jargon in the building.
What's up?
Man, this is a great day, bro. I see with the H-Town Astros hat. Salute.
Oh, yeah.
H-Town.
I'm repping Astros both times. Double duty.
Yeah, man. What you think about the Malachi interview before it was cutting up, and then Malachi's uncle spitting that wisdom that you usually
Man, I missed the uncle part. I was driving as I was tuning in, and I saw
Right.
you kind of, having the technical difficulties we know in the YouTube world can happen to you. But now I just were hearing you riffing, and then I just saw you texting me. I was like, oh, man, dang. Okay. Let me hop on this bad boy, man. You give me a brief little recap, because I missed that. I was in and out on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Malachi Wideman, a very intelligent young man, and you can tell why he's successful, man, because he believes in himself, but he's humble. He's not out here saying I'm the shit all the time and trying to look at me. Very humble. He knows how good he is, and he's efficient, man. He got that Marvin Harrison trait. You know how Marvin Harrison is
Stoic, yeah,
stoic. Mm-hmm. But you know Marvin Harrison is going to break records against you if you guard him. But the difference is Marvin Harrison was a 6'5", 200 plus.
It's true. He's like 6 foot.
Barely that, yeah.
He's a small guy.
You know what? Marvin Harrison Jr. plays for Ohio State, and he's 6'3", but his dad's like 5'11", 6 foot. No, Marvin Harrison, look out for that name. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a problem. I saw him at the Rose Bowl on TV. He's going to be a problem. He's a real deal.
I'm keeping my eye for that, brother. But, well, you know what? A lot of guys are kind of, more or less like that, especially because what I always do is I don't like to denigrate college athletes too much, because I understand sometimes you lose scope, and we're all fans of sports. And so some guys will get a little harsh in critique on guys, but most of them are pretty humble guys. Because why? The time you and the efforts you put in to be a collegiate athlete is I've had the pleasure of doing it at the Division I level. It is one of the hardest things you'll do in your life. Like literally all your free time is gone, except like late night. Then you can go do your thing, party, but you're gonna pay for it the next day. Going to go run and to go to practice. You're gonna pay for it, but it humbles you. And I'm sure him going to Jackson and seeing all those elite level athletes, I'm sure whatever he thought before he showed up there, I'm sure he got recorrected. And that's what you want, though. You want that type of situation to just reset what normal is. I thank God for my first university I went to, Stephen F. Austin State University. The rigors that Coach Casper had, he made us show up 45 minutes before practice. In basketball world, that's a little early. 45 minutes was requirement, like non-negotiable. You know what I mean? It taught you it humbled me at a quick age. I thought I was going to take that program over, and I did not. I redshirted. You know what I'm saying? And playing with other Division I athletes, man, it was rough, man. And so it really level sets you properly. So I'm not surprised at all to hear the brothers like that, no matter how good he is in two sports.
And brother, man, I want to say I apologize for Jackson State beating on Prairie A&M. Now I'm gonna tread lightly because my father.
Why you got to go there, man?
Hey, let me say this. I gotta say that my father is an alum of Prairie A&M. So, Father, please forgive me what I'm about to say. Rest in peace, Pops, man. My Pops went there, man. But I wanted that game to be closer.
Yeah, facts.
I remember when I was a kid, man. I remember watching Prairie A&M, and they had their little, losing skid, and then they won later on in the other 2000s, upper 2000s.
Now, it wasn't no little losing skid. It was 10 years worth of losing.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Ain't nobody in the stand. They had they were trying. I remember they tried to sell tickets at the Burger King or something. Like it give you a free ticket to see Prairie A&M. And
that's crazy.
I mean, it was that bad, man. People forget that, man. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I remember they just recently the university had basically a acknowledgement of the '98 team, I believe, who broke that losing streak, and they were. Those guys are still proud of that, man, like to this day. And it just was because I mean, now for those who don't know, Prairie View got so bad in both sports because we lost scholarships. Like literally, there were no scholarships to give out. So you got guys who were literally walking on, like that was forever the culture in that 10-year span of losing. So the basketball team was just as bad as a football team. And ESPN had what they call the Sports Century. They highlighted both programs being the worst programs in college sports. So, but it's a reason. If you don't have scholarships, obviously you can't get the guys you want. So I want to add that in the discussion because a lot of people, they mention that, but they don't mention the whole story.
Right, man. It was terrible. Not terrible.
Terrible.
It was terrible, man. God.
Losing to Langston, and we couldn't be nobody, man. Paul Quinn coming in and rolled us up, man. Like it was bad.
Man, make sure to subscribe to Hoop Jargon. If you subscribe to me, you got to be subscribed to Hoop Jargon. This is a brother that played in the SWAC. He knows what he's talking about. He's a former athlete, knows the whole landscape of HBCUs, and a solid brother as well. So subscribe to Hoop Jargon. Now, disclaimer, Hoop Jargon, he speaks his mind. So if he ain't going to like it, then.
At all times.
Yeah, so I'm just letting you know. He speaks his mind.
And you know what, too? I love how positive your channel is because, you know, I'm with the shits. Because especially with SWAC, because, you know, Jackson folks, y'all brand new. I love y'all. I love everybody who HBCU connected. Like, don't get it twisted. But you go in these spaces like, you know, Rough and the SWAC. If y'all not familiar with that Facebook group, y'all go to Rough and the SWAC. It is hilarious. Now, right now, FAMU is getting the toughest FAMU people because they're new to the SWAC and they trying to, you know, kind of come in there and kick the door down. And when they lost to Jackson, man, it was great times in that group. But I say all that to say, Jackson's kind of like now right back at the forefront because Jackson is a blue blood school in the SWAC. We know that. Southern Jackson Grambling. Now FAMU in there. I'm mad if I say Prairie View ain't there, and we got a lot more winning before we can even fix our mouth to say that. But it's been a lot of losing going on in Jackson before this year. And so, you know, I on my channel, I definitely level set Jackson folks like, all right, let's remember where we started now as far as last, you know, about 6-7 odd years. This is a great era right now. Great era. Like, it's great for everybody. It's business is good for everybody with Coach Prime coming in. But let's remember, it ain't always been daffodils and dandelions over there in Jackson.
Oh, man, the price. What's that saying? The price of the brick went up, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to the homie HL Kid, man.
Shout out to HL Kid for sure, man.
Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. Again, I said this earlier in the show, but if you miss it, subscribe to Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. Great content, man. When I want to just listen to the game of football and how it's played, I go to Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. If I don't go there, then I go to Coach Simmons. Subscribe to Coach Simmons. Great channel as well. Brother, I want to ask you, who has the best SWAC facilities? I'm thinking Prairie View A&M, man. I saw a picture, man. It was.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize it was that good like that.
Now, when I first got to Prairie View, we were dead last as far as facilities. You know what I mean? Dead last. When I played basketball at PV, Baby Dome needed a whole bunch of love in it. We'll put it that way. Our football field looked like literally a middle school. I can't even go high school. It looked like a middle school field. Shout out to Blackshear Field. Terrible. And we won a SWAC championship with that field in 2009. Shout out to Coach KJ Black, who's currently at FAMU.
Doing a good job, too.
Buddy of mine, man. Good dude, man. I'm hopefully sooner than later, I hope to see him come back to Prairie View. But it was bad, man. It was really bad. And it was commendable that we were able to win SWAC with such trash. And everybody know who went to PV. They know in the sweat box, which is the weight room that's connected to the football stadium, quote unquote. I don't even want to use the word stadium. The place where people play football. You know, it was trash, man. Like it was so bad, man. You can go in there, you just smell weights. You know, that's the smell of like just iron, like it's just coagulated with that hot Texas sun. But we remember that. So now if you go to Prairie View, it's state art. And Coach Prime said it himself, 3 years ago? When they had the HBCU combine for high school kids at Prairie View. Coach Prime was like, I didn't know y'all was doing like that at PV. Man, y'all got it going over here. Like, and so we put a lot of money into our new, and you said the Texas A&M system helped us as well. And people don't know this as well. Texas A&M and Prairie View A&M were founded the same year, 1876. And they were supposed to be on the same land grant. So basically, as big as Texas A&M is, Prairie View's supposed to be that big. I mean, we know the difference between two universities. We know why that didn't shake out. But a lot of people don't know that little fact. So Prairie View finally got some Texas A&M state money. Because, well, let me back up one more time. I'll land the plane with this. University of Texas, Texas A&M, Prairie View. At the time, I think it was called Negro Normal College. I believe it was called. You're supposed to get all three the same money. So as big as Texas is, biggest Texas A&M, Prairie View is supposed to be on that same land grant to get the money. But obviously, again, it didn't happen. So we say all that to say, 5 years ago we built the stadium, we finally got the money we're supposed to have, to put into our facilities, and Prairie View is up there, man. Like, I think, yeah, I would put Prairie View at the best facilities. The Baby Dome needs some help now. Don't get it twisted. The Baby Dome need a little help, but yeah, man, Prairie View's up there, bro.
Exactly, man. Man, what do you think the SWAC landscape gonna be, man? I believe the SWAC is gonna be the toughest it's ever been in a while. I'm just looking at the recruiting rankings.
Oh, hell yeah.
Man, fam, you got a quarterback from Vanderbilt, and I know people are going to be like, he's not a star. But in the SWAC, all you need is a quarterback that can manage the game with the athletes you have. And if you have good offensive linemen, you can control the clock. Also, Grambling State, I like that kid they got from UCLA, Kanjaya. He can run, but he only runs to throw. That's very dangerous in the SWAC. Quarterbacks who don't only depend on their legs, but you think they're going to run, and then you look over, he throwing it for a 60-yard bomb. Hugh Jackson got something, man. Who's going to be your surprise team next year?
Well, before I say who my surprise team is, I want to say you're on point with what you just said. Look at how I know Jawan Pass had a horrible SWAC championship, but you talking about a guy who was an exile from Louisville. He signed at was it Towson, and then he decommitted and then went to Prairie View, went to the SWAC championship. So there's redemption in that. Look at Tavares Jackson, the late great Tavares Jackson, left University of Arkansas, went to Alabama State, ripped it up for 2 years, went to the NFL. Right? He was the backup for Brett Favre, if you guys don't know. So yeah, there's a lot of precedence for that. You come in the SWAC and you get your, it's like your redemption tour. And I said that in my video when Prairie View signed Jawan Pass, and pretty much he was a game short of delivering. You know what I mean? So, I think that is very astute to mention that the brother coming from UCLA. As far as who my surprise would be for next year, I'm looking at FAMU, man. FAMU is just solid, man. That team, Willie Simmons is going to have them playing some nasty football. Well, we saw it last year with the lower scores, and they could turn it up if they had to. But they're going to do the same thing this year, and they're going to bring more guys in because, like you said, this is like and shout out to SWAC Buzz. He coined this phrase. It's a SWAC arms race that's going on right now with talent coming in that normally we don't get. And, yeah, so I can see FAMU. I guess it's not that much of a surprise. They lost one game to SWAC, just to Jackson by a point. But I would see them, making a stronger push this year with that off and on. What they had 2 quarterback system going. I think that they'll be a little more solidified this year. Beside them, I would look at Southern, man. I would look at Southern. Southern with Coach Dooley, man. I think he's where he wanted to be. I'll look at Southern as well.
And Jordan Lewis is coming back, the dominant edge rusher.
Yeah.
So he took his name out of the transfer portal. That's a big get. That's one of the most underrated news coming out of the SWAC. Him coming back. Yeah. Now I know they didn't sign like a 4-star guy from the transfer portal, but Jordan Lewis is like having a 5-star prospect in the SWAC. And shout out to the Sooners, man. For those who don't know, Hoop Jargon knows, everybody has a FBS team that they root for.
Yeah,
mine is the Oklahoma Sooners. My father was a big Billy Sims fan, and ever since then I've been Soonered out, man. Shout out to the Sooners, man.
I'm UT, man. Hook 'em horns. Sorry.
Hey, man, don't judge me. It was one time I rooted for UT, but that's because our boy Vince Young was playing. I had to root for Vince Young. I had to, man. He's an H-Town cat like me. And the H-Town Sooners, they'll admit this. They're like, there's one game we rooted for UT, and that was that national championship game against
USC. Mm-hmm.
All because of Vince Young. Yeah, horns down, man. You know how it is. Horns down. Don't get mad at me, man. Horns down, man.
All right, man. It's a great show, man. I'm out. No.
Oh, you gonna do that now? Come on, man. It's a rivalry. You know how it is.
Hey, y'all been kicking our ass, man. And I just got to eat it, man, every year. It's just like, golly, man. And even in that Vince Young era, I remember when Adrian Peterson came on the scene, I was like, who is this dude, man? Freshman out of Podunk, Texas.
Right.
That was the most humbling thing being a UT fan watching Adrian Peterson go to work, man. It was unreal how good he was.
But I'm gonna be honest, in that game, because I didn't even think UT was gonna beat USC. I said, I hope Vince Young has a good game, but I didn't think UT was gonna beat that juggernaut of a team. And then they won it. First, I was like, damn, UT won a national championship. But what calmed my mind was Vince Young won it. So I had to convince my mom. Vince Young won the championship. I still to this day, I don't say UT won it. I say
Vince Young won it.
I be pissing people off, man. I'm so OU'd out, man. It's crazy, man. I've been having OU gear since I was just like, that was just our team, man.
Yeah.
From Barry Switzer to many more. I don't mention Lincoln Riley. He's a turncoat. That's another.
He turncoat.
Cashed
out on Bob Stoops.
He ain't Bob Stoops. I mean, Lincoln Riley couldn't even cook no damn brisket. He had a brisket on his Instagram. That shit looked so
man.
dry. I've never seen that in my life.
That's funny. Yeah, I had a comment I can add that. I'm gonna leave that off this chat. Well, I would say this, man. I had a game that night. I think we played Southern. Because me and Vince Young are the same age. And that game was coming on, and I remember I couldn't watch it because we literally had a game against Southern, I want to say. And I remember just the ballyhoo before the game. Because I'm just so glad, besides being a UT fan, besides being a Vince Young fan, I just was over how they were hyping up USC, man, with Lindell White and Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, especially Matt Leinart. I just like, can somebody just kick their ass, please? And obviously in the Pac-10 didn't happen. But when we met them now, I knew we could win the game. I knew we had the personnel, but I still was a little worried because, if you watch ESPN in that era, like 2006, that's all they would talk about was USC's three-headed monster. And then on defense, they had I don't think Cushing was on that team. I think Cushing was right after that. Maybe he was on that team. There's some good linebackers too. And I forget their names, but at any rate, USC was like the farm system, like with Mike Williams, a receiver who tried to leave, go to NFL early. Like that's all they talked about. It's funny now because nobody gives a damn about USC now. But man, we was able to slay the dragon and watch it do it the fashion. Like if y'all remember the year before that, Vince Young beat Michigan the same way in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, back in 04.
Absolutely. He did the same exact thing. And so it just was a marvel to see, man. It was a marvel to see.
Exactly. Let me read some of these comments.
Yes, sir.
Sports Network says Vegas won a lot of money on that UT-USC game.
I bet.
Yeah, they did, man. Man, they had people. I remember watching the news, man, just like quadrupling their win shares. I mean, that's if you betted on UT on that game, you won a lot of money. Shout out to Michigan. He said that hurt me, Trent. Trent says gold blue. HL Kid says, DJ, what you think about Jacob Cohen leaving UTEP for Arizona? I thought that was random. I thought he was going to go to the SEC or something. He's that good. But Arizona, they probably promised him to be the face of Arizona in the Pac-12. And it's closer to El Paso, so region, California. He's a California kid. HL says really wanted Jacob Cohen. I wanted him to go there. He should have went to Oregon, in my opinion. But hey, these kids make their own decisions. But if it was me, I would have been kicking it in Oregon, man. With Phil Knight and company, I would have been kicked. If I was going FBS, because that was one of his choices.
Yeah.
Now, objectively, I keep it in the swag or in the MEAC, one of those two. If I did it my way, if I didn't have his options. See, his options, he had Oregon, he had Ole Miss, he had Auburn. and many more. Texas Tech. Nicholas Malachi says, didn't Mario Williams play at USC that year? Mario Williams was at
NC State.
NC State. He was a defensive end at NC State.
Yeah. He came out that year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was number one pick when everybody thought it would be Lionel Bush. But yeah, the right draft class, wrong school.
You know, that 2006 draft, man, it really wasn't a strong draft. If you look back at the numbers and stuff, it really wasn't a strong draft. That's why it was hyped up to be that.
It felt like.
But I want to ask you something, man.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Alabama A&M a little more because they recruiting. Now they transfer portal out. Like they'll get regular high school talent, but they are bought in the transfer portal. Coach Maynard, he's trying to create something big with Alabama A&M. That loss to Jackson State motivated him. Now he egged it on. He was trying to make fun of Coach Prime with the scooter and everything, but we know he's a shit talker.
He always been that.
He always been that. But what you think about Alabama A&M? I think their quarterback race. I know. Some people say Quincy Casey, but they got about 4 quarterbacks who can win their job. I don't know who's going to win their job.
You always got to watch a team with a big talent like Akil Glass leaves. So it's tough to. This reminds me when Prairie View, when we lost KJ, and we had like 2 guys in the wings and talented brothers. I think a brother named I forget who won the quarterback job. Dang it. It'll come to me as I'm speaking, but it's hard to replace a talent like that. So as I'm looking, having 4 guys, it's like, you know the old adage, man, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got 0. Being a UT fan, I know that all too well because we ain't replaced nothing since Colt McCoy. I think it'll be interesting, though, because I know how old school Coach is, and I know that if you would poll him losing to Deion Sanders is probably, left a crazy taste in his mouth that he wants to go redeem. Because if you remember, during the spring season, they beat Jackson. And this is back when nobody knew exactly how good Jackson would be. And they were unblemished at the time. So, and he was talking that shit, right? So, I think it's going to be incredibly interesting to see who they roll with. Because I don't suspect it's going to be a carousel once they do that. With some coaches make that mistake, in my opinion. One being FAMU, not knowing who and Grambling from 2 years ago with Higginbottom and the other guy, like you got to pick one guy, man.
It was Elijah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Higginbottom, I was just like, you got 2 guys, you got 0. So no, that's a very, very good, astute observation there.
Exactly. Let me see. IB Sooner says Texas A&M is about to be dominant as well. They're a quarterback away, man. Wiggins, he got talent. That high school quarterback they got.
Yeah.
Now, Texas A&M fans, if y'all don't win at least one national title, that is the best recruiting class in history. If you don't at least win one, I'm being nice. I should have just said 2, because 2 should be the lowest number you win with that. Not even Alabama had a recruiting class that good.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the landscape changed too, because Bama is a little chink in the armor now. Bama, usually was guaranteed. It's a chink in the armor now. So hey, man, this is your opportunity now.
The transfer portal. That's why I like it with the HBCUs now. They're mad about it, just like they're mad about NIL deals. Is because HBCUs and smaller FCS schools are benefiting of this. Is actually creating a level playing field, and they can't stand it. That's why when Travis Hunter signed with Jackson State, they was all in the gripe and just complaining about, Barstool must have gave him and Coach Prime had to shut that down and said, how would a player get paid more than me? You know what I mean? I'm sure Travis Hunter will get NIL deals around Jackson. That's like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his Instagram following will give him a bag. Twitter will give him a bag. That's what people don't know. Snapchat, TikTok will give him a bag. So Travis Hunter is a player that's going to, he's going to be very marketable.
Let me add this too. I always find it funny that this sanctimonious BS that these coaches are supporters of Power 5 schools have when they don't get their way. And why do I say this? We all know that these big schools, in a gentleman's back, door agreement, they pay for these kids. Reggie Bush has told us this. Cam Newton has told us this. Well, we saw that with his dad shopping him around. We know this. Even on the small level, man, I keep his name out this chat, but one of my boys I played overseas with, he went to Drexel. He was actually recruited to go to Maryland. And he was talking about getting $800 handshakes, right? So it's funny when the rabbit got the gun, now all of a sudden you want to have this, wholly upstanding recruiting process when you know how boosters get down. Boosters put money in these kids' hands, in the family members' hands. So now all of a sudden that the NIL can kind of buffer that. Now you got problems with a kid getting quote unquote bought into a scholarship. Funny, very funny that now all of a sudden you got a problem with that.
Mm-hmm. Like Tomorrow Leader Sport Network just said, talk that talk, Hoop. It's a business.
It's a business. Stop playing. I've made a video about this so many times. Again, I'm a hypocrite because I'm a Division I athlete. But when I step back and look at it, they benefit off of our backs. I'm on this video game right here. I keep it right here in my little cubby. NCAA basketball 2004. Now, am I the reason this game sold? Absolutely not. I think
at least you're honest, brother. At least you're honest about that, man. You got people playing at Drexel saying, hey, man, I am the reason, telling their nephews and nieces, hey, I played at Drexel in 2004, Hey, I was the reason, I was that good. But Uncle, you only had 5 points per game. See, I was a hustle player. They didn't value the hustle player like that. PJ Tucker now and make that dough. See, PJ Tucker ain't no leading scorer. Making excuses.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm humble enough to know that I didn't move the needle at all. But I am aware enough to know that my likeness was used on that video game, and it's two other ones actually. Now I missed that class action lawsuit that shout out to Ed O'Bannon started, but to the point that it's a business. Like literally, EA is eating off the backs of kids who cannot get paid, and you are wrapping it in the veil of being a student athlete. Well, you get a free education. Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here? We talking about like sports. If you guys don't know, basketball and football basically pay for the whole sports entity as a whole. Every other sport loses money for the university. So that BS about getting a free scholarship, so is a bowling player. They get a free scholarship too, but they're not driving the force of income for the university, especially at the high levels, the Power Fives, as it were. So when I hear it, it's just a disingenuous argument. And I'm glad now that NIL has taken the lid off that because it's been long overdue.
You ain't lying about that. IB Sooner said, do you guys have a podcast? No, I just do everything on YouTube, but should I do a podcast? And
should, man. You got the voice. That's damn sure.
Yeah, I need to do it ready. Hey, this is 2420 at the Washington. We're gonna play some smooth jazz. We're gonna play You Are My Lady. Make sure to stay cozy and be with your special significant other as we about to play some slow.
While you tripping, you should just go like to some obscure town and just be the DJ guy remotely. Like,
IB Suda says, I'm an OU alumni, but let's be real. We want HBCUs to get some respect.
There you go.
Man, the family, man. Man, if HBCUs become what I think it could become, it'll be pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be pandemonium, and it will take it to the next level. I guarantee it, man. But it's one step at a time. Can you imagine if next season we have 4 teams in the SWAC ranked?
Yeah. And that's where it's trending. Yeah. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Because even let's look at it this way. Even with my school, Prairie View, in early years, us getting Bubba McDowell would have been a big deal. You got an ex-NFL player giving NFL knowledge, born and bred through, because Bubba McDowell's been in Prairie View the last 10 years. I mean, when he first came, it was a big deal when he came. So now Dion has kind of made it where, like, Bubba McDowell, it ain't nothing no more. But now, like, he takes a backseat for Hugh Jackson. He takes a backseat again to Coach Prime. What a great time that a coach like that is quote unquote insignificant, in certain respects. That means that the level of the overall coaching lore has raised. And that's what I've always wanted for HBCU sports. It should be this way. It should be this way where, like, we got high-level guys with high-level connections with a high level of knowledge being at the forefront of the universities. That's how it should be.
Yeah, spot on. HL Kisses, HJ, that was up. You was on the game, though. That's classic, bro. Man, I remember playing that game. I was so addicted to NCAA basketball, man. When they stopped making NCAA basketball, I was so ticked off, man.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
I used to pick the smallest schools and just try to turn them into a champion, man.
Same here.
Now, I wish the NCAA basketball, you know how NCAA football, you could change your conferences?
Mm-hmm.
Like the last one, NCAA 14, I wish they did that. I wish they did. Coach Simmons, shout out to Coach Simmons. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He says, have you heard of the rumor that the OVC is trying to get UAPB? You heard about that?
I have not, but doesn't they? No, it's Ohio Valley Conference. Oh, what now? Isn't that what Tennessee State is?
Yes, OVC.
Yeah, interesting. It's funny because Pine Bluff is definitely on the bottom tier of the SWAC level, but maybe they just want to crack into that. Interesting. So it makes me wonder what connections they have on the back channels, because that's an interesting school to go after. And no disrespect to Pine Bluff, man. Great black city. If y'all know about Pine Bluff, Arkansas, one of the first booming black-centric cities, not named Black Wall Street, out there in Oklahoma. So y'all look up Pine Bluff's history, very rich black affluent history. These days, not so much. However, as far as history is concerned, you should know about Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Exactly. Everybody just know about Tulsa, but if you actually do your reading, it's in the double digits of historic black cities.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the educate. We got to do a better job in teaching young brothers and sisters about history, not only when we were in chains, but when we were successful businessmen, women, inventors, people who changed the world. The guy that made the cell phone was a black man. You got to know this stuff. The guy that made
air conditioning,
refrigerating the heating, black man. You got to be proud. See, we only want to know or learn the stuff that what Hollywood and TV teaches us. So you get your information on roots. That's not enough. You need to read a book. You need to go on YouTube and look at successful black businessmen, successful entrepreneurs, successful politicians if you're into politics, successful just anything in our culture. You'd be surprised what you find out. You know, the guy that made the stop sign was a black man. Before he came around, there was a record number of wrecks. Man, they didn't even know how to. Man, they were driving all over the place. They didn't have no stop sign. They had no go light. They just had a guy with a whistle telling them where to go and a little sign here. And they didn't even know what to do.
And look at it this way, for the people who indulge with the spirits, the person who made the distillery process for Jack Daniel's whiskey, I forgot his last name, Nearest. They actually just finally acknowledged him, and they have a brand, off-brand called Uncle Nearest. But I forget Nearest's last name, but he was the person who started that distillery process that Jack Daniels took. And as we know, that's a very popular, beverage for a lot of people who indulge, your boy included. So it's just funny that story only came out about 3 years ago. And Jack Daniels been around forever. But you got to inform yourself, man, because if you let them inform you, you're going to be looking. Well, you're going to be thinking something is one thing, but reality is something else if you take some time and look it up.
Here's something that's going to spin your head. Some of y'all may know this, but you know how they give Thomas Edison the credit of the light bulb? Really, he wasn't really a slave. He was like a sharecropper. Like this was like 1870s after slavery. But he used potatoes and some different type of wiring, and he created the light bulb. Now, Thomas Edison saw that idea and made it to what it is now, even more. But that's who actually started it. Uh, I feel like I'm in college, gang. And that was my favorite class was history, because I treated it like a movie, man. I never had anything below an A plus
There you go.
history, because I treat it. It's just like watching a movie. When they're telling you this happened, I'm like, okay, I'm reading it. That's why reading is important.
You go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why reading is important. When we read books,
Facts.
we need to learn how to read books like it's entertainment. When I read a book, it's like I'm watching a movie. When I read a biography book, it's like I'm watching biography clip, National Geographic, but I'm reading a book. So I'm imagining it. We got to paint pictures in our heads and use imagination. And it's a learned art. You got to learn it. You know, it don't come off the night. Because when I first read books, I hated it. I was like, man, I ain't reading this. I don't want to read nothing about no George Washington, man. It ain't interest me. But what you figure out when you read it all, then you start getting aware of everything.
There you go. And then you don't walk around like a dummy. Especially being a YouTuber, you gotta know something, man. Because somebody gonna challenge you. You gotta be on point. And it's funny you mentioned Thomas Edison, man. He was the ultimate idea stealer. Like, so now I'm about to go a little nerdy. I keep it short. He was proposing the DC current, which basically was you plug in power. Nikola Tesla was pitching the AC current, which was more like your wireless energy. And literally, Thomas Edison basically took the prestige away from Nikola Tesla. And because again, he was pitching an inferior electricity system. But he found a way to still be at the head of it, when all the genius stuff that when he started pitching the AC current, he got that from Nikola Tesla. And that's why Elon Musk is so obsessed with the Tesla brand, is because he saw how genius he was. It's just Edison was a way better promoter. He was like a P.T. Barnum, as it were, whereas Edison was just a backdoor genius, as it were. So that's why Elon Musk gives basically homage to his old company over Nikola Tesla, because he understood how brilliant he was.
Yeah, they did that all the time back in those days. And it's your boy OZ. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. Thank you for tuning in. He said, world history is the story of us, but they took our faces off everything and put their own to replace truth. They did. Look at the ones in Egypt, man. They took the nose off and they try to brainwash people, talking about Cleopatra was some European Elizabeth Taylor looking chick. Man, she was Nubian as I don't know what. She was as dark and elegant like the late great Cicely Tyson. I mean, this is facts. I mean, the sun was closer to the earth during those times. So there wasn't anybody, especially in that region, light complexion.
I'll go further than that. Do you guys know the Council of Nicaea in the 1600s, that they literally redid art from, like, for those brothers who read the scriptures, believe in the scriptures? Like, literally, they went and redid the way they basically sat down and said, okay, this is how we're going to tell the story of Christ. This is how we're going to depict the versions of what people see as fixtures in the Bible. And so all that stuff you see from Michelangelo and that era, those are all like literally recreations from the Council of Nicaea. So they basically sat down and literally whitewashed religious texts. Literally. So if you want the best version, look at the Ethiopian versions of the Bible. You get the early depictions with the bigger eyes, you know how Eastern Africans are. You get a more genuine depiction of how those brothers and sisters look at that time. So it's just funny that people accept those Roman Catholic versions of it. But if you understand history, if you understand etymology properly, that it literally was contrived. And not only that, it's funny. I mean, again, I'm going to go a little nerdy on this. Michelangelo, if you look at I would say this, it ain't my channel, look up his lifestyle. His lifestyle shouldn't have nothing to do with no depictions of people from the Bible. And I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. That's saying too much without saying too much.
Yeah, there you go. I've learned.
That's what I'm hoop jargon, man. Hey, you see I changed the name of the channel, man. We are now Raw Truth Media. What you think about the new title of this channel, my brother?
Man, that's what it is, man. Go ahead.
When I looked at my name, I was like, man, DJ's Raw and Cut True. Let's be honest. The title was long as hell. It was annoying me just saying it. I was like, man, that title long as hell. I got to be honest, man. Sometimes you got to laugh at yourself and say, you know what? If anybody told me my title was long as hell and ripping my channel, I deserve it because I've been doing this too long to have my channel that long. But now when I say Raw Truth Media, man, that's like, that's like,
because you cutting straight to it. You cutting straight to what it is you're about, the essence of what you're about. And me and you started YouTube around the same time. You go through a lot of personal investigation. Just, what am I about? What do I associate with? What do I do? How do I respond when people, because people will come at you trolling and shit. You just got to be ready for whatever. And I think you're owning what you are all the way, which is great, man. It's great.
Exactly. Coach Simmons says, y'all speaking my language, just kind of talk you won't get at PWIs.
Hell no.
And you definitely won't get this talk at the, what do you call a channel that's not really corporate, but has a corporate mindset that's kind of afraid to say some stuff?
Without slandering, I'm going to say it's just vanilla, man. Like vanilla channels where you don't want to step on toes, you don't want to get demonetized, you don't want to get stricken, and you just you just pussy around, topics that it needs real direct talk on, and not being in a negative fashion, just in a real fashion. Now that's something I say too. One thing I've learned in YouTube is I don't deal with that negative shit. If that's what you about, no big deal. In this world, there's area for everything. So whatever you about, there's a space for you. One of and I'll keep her name out this chat. She supports my channel a lot. Always shares my videos, comes to super chats, but her channel is very negative, and she told me. So I steer clear of it, but I support her. But I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that. What you do, I can't do that. And she respected it because she told me ahead of time. So I say all that to say, man, you owning your truth, owning who you are. Because again, it's like high school all over again doing this. You know what I mean? You really got to find out what you're about. So you know what it is, bro.
Man, it's just like I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to be no king of YouTube, man. I'm trying to build with the family and create something, man. I give you an example. If Hoop Jargon had a surge where he has 50,000 subs, surpassing my channel, you know who's going to be the happiest? Me. Because I was there when Hoop Jargon had, 400 or I'm just giving number 300.
Nah, you was there when I had less than 100.
Yeah, less than 100. I was there, man. And I told Hoop Jargon, man, I'm going to shout your channel out. And now you're almost at 2,000. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, by the way.
Appreciate that. Yeah, like DJ, man, it's funny. I told you, I confused you with Jada Black because I don't know how, the algorithms, they push your channel just as frequently as his back when I was early 2020. And I confused y'all at first. And then I thought, no, that's DJ, that's Jada Black. All right. And I remember coming on your channel, and I had the wrong channel I was on at first. I was on like my Hoop Jargon burner account, aka, because when you subscribe to YouTube as a creator, they'll pull up all your related emails. And so basically I had two versions of Hoop Jargon. I remember just asking you, let's do a show. And it was hilarious, man. And just thinking of where that started and where we are today and how we just were nobodies, back in the game. And, funny how times change, man.
The struggle is real, man. When you first start and you get 400 subs, you like, man, that's something, man. Hoop Jargon been supporting my channel when it was like, man, ancient history, man.
You was only like 100 some odd subs, more than mine, because you on the Big Baller podcast with Ball Facts and DKM and what have you. And you was everybody's like, who this DJ dude? I remember like people were saying that shit. It was hilarious, dog. Remember we used to do shows on Skype we used to get on Skype and then record the Skype session.
Yeah, that's how much we was hustling. Hey, that worked, man. That worked. But I'm gonna tell you something about YouTube that's funny, man. They be making up stuff, man. Like Hoop Jargon know me more than anybody else. Like the wrong rumor said was that there was a time I stopped doing YouTube, but somebody was saying YouTube kicked me out, which was not true. It was the pandemic starting, the social injustice going on, George Floyd's situation. I was at a point where I didn't even want to talk about sports. It wasn't even on my mind. So much stuff going around the world. And then I think August of 2020, it was Hoop Jargon and DKM. They messaged me. They said, "Hey, man, you need to go back, man." I said, "I know you don't feel like doing it, but you need to go back and just be on this YouTube stuff." I was like, I don't feel like doing it. And you guys like, just make one video, man, and see how it does. I made one talking about the Pelicans and Lonzo Ball. That one had like 850 views at the time. And that's when I got my itch back. I said, wait, I made a simple video where I just did my little research and I didn't even have the passion on it. And then it started to go on and go on. And then I started to make content, man. But it's been great, man. The HBCU content added on with basketball. This is only the beginning. This is the people's channel, man. This is family, man. Everybody is loved out here. And for those who missed it, you could, if you rewind, if you go back, there's the interview with Malachi Wideman. Now, shout out to Jackson State, but that Wi-Fi area there was spotty. Hoop was texting me. You said, "Bro, you handled that well, man." Because I'm looking.
I know it, man. When you streaming and it stops, it's the worst. Right now.
Like for real. What you say, Hoop?
No, I'm saying I know when you streaming and then like it started like freezing.
You're not saying anything.
You can't hear me? Hold on. You hear me now?
No, I can't hear you. Now
what
your
about
Wi-Fi acting up?
You can't hear me at all?
Hey, did you put your headphones
I'm going to drop in and come back.
Okay.
Yeah, my headphones in.
It's your boy OC says PC channels. Yeah, man. Just 1611 King James. Oh, y'all on hip on this. It's your boy OZ says Tesla technology was sold to Thomas Weissenhouse and Edison sent to his friend JP Morgan to blackmail Westinghouse into selling Tesla's technology. Oh, man.
You hear me now?
Nah, I don't hear you.
Bro. That's crazy, man. Jeez.
It was just going well, my brother.
But what about now? No? No?
Yeah, I don't hear anything. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. We will have a part 2 of the Malachi Wideman interview. And thank you for support Raw Truth Media. It's a family. A shout out to Jackson State. Shout out to all SWAC schools, Grambling, Southern, Prairie A&M, UAPB, FAMU, Alcorn. Don't sleep on Alcorn. One thing I learned about the SWAC is Coach McNair, he'll have his players play hard for him, no matter what. And I see what they're doing. They're making some transfer moves. Let me see. Who Jargon, you back on?
Yeah. Can you hear me? You hear me? Do you hear me? Nothing?
Yeah, it's not working.
I'm going to let me.
Yeah, I know, man. But salute to everybody, man. Like the video, share the video, Stay blessed. And I'm out.